Hey everyone, this is Souvik from Digit, and here we have with us the iPhone 6s. The latest generation iPhone from Apple is its best, and looking at its performance and everything, well, we kind of agree. But before that, one thing I'd like to talk about is the color of the version that we got. The iPhone 6s, we got a rose gold iPhone with us. And like my colleague Prasid, who reviewed this phone, had said at its launch, it's pink, and it really is pink. Well, I personally don't have any problem in wearing pink shirts or pink phones or even pink wallets. A lot of people might, but you have different color options for your iPhone anyway, so you can just simply avoid it. But the fact still remains that it's pink. Never mind. Anyway, going into the build of the phone, it's typically iPhone. It's sturdy, it's good to hold, it's compact. As you can see, it completely fits into my palm, and that's one thing that phones of today really does not do. So this is a brilliant build according to me, but it's really not too different from the iPhone 6. In fact, it's not different at all unless you count the bezel around the cameras. It's got a slightly raised camera. As you can see around the edge, there's this slight ring around the edge. The only thing that kind of differentiates the iPhone 6 from the 6s is the S over here, which gives you the bragging rights of spending another big amount of cash on the new iPhone. The screen is slightly raised and beveled, but that adds to the seamless flow of design and still manages to keep the phone compact. You have the volume buttons to this side and the mute volume switcher on or right above it to the left. To the right, you have the power unlock button, which was on top till the 5S, and this is the SIM tray. At the bottom, you have the 3.5mm audio jack, the lightning port, and the speaker grill. And here's the fingerprint scanner and home button. There's the ring over here. Front camera, sensors, earpiece, pretty much standard iPhone build and iPhone build quality as well. This is the epitome of build quality. Feels really good. It's premium, it's smooth, it's metal, it's durable, it's good. That's the best way to sum it up, is that the iPhone 6s feels good in hand. And if you are an iPhone user, if you've been using 4S, 5S, it does take some time to get used to the bigger iPhone. And even in terms of the build, the iPhone 5S was somewhat rectangular in the build with, and they switched to a more rounded edges with the 6 and even the 6s. So if you've been using the 5s or the 5 or the 4s for that matter, it'll take you some time to get used to holding it firm, and the grip is somewhat lesser than the iPhone 5s. So for this one, I ended up dropping it a few times, but one good thing that came out of it is that there's been no damage whatsoever to the build. You can see there's no aberrations in the build which resulted out of the 3-4 times I dropped the phone. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a slight damage over here. There's a slight chip on the metal, which happened because of maybe the phone fell on the road once. That's never mind. But apart from that, it's excellent. The overall phone, it's really good in terms of build. Now we'll switch to the functionality of the iPhone 6s. Switching it on, scan the fingerprint, and there you go. It's typically iPhone, it's running on iOS 9, it's got the new A9 chipset, and it finally has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which many tech fans, tech enthusiasts and users had been speaking about. The iPhone finally has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and in terms of performance, once you use the 6s, you will realize just how fast it is. There are no faults, there are no glitches that you'd ever experience on an iPhone. There you go, open the camera. Boom. You switch to music. You kind of have a bad network over here, but oh dear, never mind. But there you go. You open photos, and then you open your calendar. You want to check your meetings. Oh, I have a lot this month. You open your messages, and you can see there's no glitch whatsoever in performance. It's as smooth as it's ever been. And you can play games, you can run music. I've ended up talking on the phone and simultaneously updating my applications in the background on and shooting an email, 3 tasks at one go, and the iPhone has not even one hint of a stutter, which is a brilliant thing about a flagship phone. After all, you're spending a lot of your money on this phone. Now, coming to one new factor, the behemoth upgrade that Apple has focused on with the iPhone 6 is 3D touch. 3D touch, Apple has previously taught us how to hold a phone, and now they're teaching us how to touch the phone, how to use the touch panel more efficiently. You have 3 different grades of touch. For instance, I can just hard press on the camera and there you go. I have a quick usage menu. One utility of the 3D touch that I've come across is in the dialer app, where if I use a deeper amount of force on it, it shows my 3 most dialed contacts, which is a good thing because, well, my most dialed contacts are the ones which I pretty much dial anyway. So that's a good thing about it. You go for email, you have your inbox and your VIP messages, the start messages that is. You get a quick menu from messages, yet again the 3 most contacted people. In photos, there you go, you get your most recent few favorites and photos from your photo stream 1 year ago. So that's the utility of 3D touch that I've discovered. Even Evernote, third-party applications, this is one interesting aspect over here. Third-party applications like Evernote gives you shortcuts. You have Facebook to give you shortcuts. There's WhatsApp, although shortcuts over here. Facebook is still functional. You can just one touch upload photo, video and post it directly on Facebook. But with WhatsApp, you can just open a new tab, new chat, or search for your people you've already been chatting with. So I was actually expecting WhatsApp also to integrate something like, the last 3 people you chatted with, their profiles, but maybe it'll come along with time, not right now. Instagram, for instance, has direct messages, search people and view your feed options on 3D touch. Twitter has options for, there you go, search, tweets, new tweet and new message options. But third-party applications, like especially the Google ones, you won't get 3D touch on Gmail, on Hangouts, on Snapseed, YouTube. Here we go. Even Amazon doesn't have, but Shazam does. You can, whenever you're listening, you can simply do a force touch and bingo, there you go. Oh yeah, of course, why not? There you go. So that's how you go with it. You can switch off auto Shazam from here. I would do that for now. Anyway, so there we go. Zomato doesn't have force touch, I'm sorry, but housing, yet again, you can just do that. So these are functional inputs, and 3D touch right now, it is something which is under development. So, and over time we are expecting a lot more implementation of 3D touch. But what Apple's done here is come up and presented 3D touch the way we would probably use it in future. It's adding more functionality, more ease of usage with 3D touch, and that is one good thing. And I'm quite upbeat about that. Although a couple of times you might miss touches, for instance, okay, that worked fine, this did, but sometimes you might end up doing this and you might not get 3D touch, or you might end up doing this and end up with the uninstall apps screen. It does take like 1 or 2 times for you to get used to it. You can get it adjusted to your 3D touch, to your preference. You go to settings, open general, go to accessibility and 3D touch, and there you go. You get options to switch off 3D touch in case it's bothering you. And you can also adjust sensitivity of 3D touch. You can switch it to light. So there you go. 2 degrees of touch. This is my first degree of touch and this is second. You put it to light and it's really light. That's really light, and this would actually be a little difficult for me to use since I use my light touch to uninstall the apps. I usually keep it at medium, which is a firm touch for the first grade and the deeper touch for the second grade. And you switch to firm, which is a very firm touch for first grade, and an even firmer touch for second grade 3D touch. So that's about it. I'll switch to medium. That's how I use it. So that's 3D touch out of the way. Now the screen is the 1334 750 resolution display that Apple uses, Apple's Retina display. It's good, it's always been good, and there's no questioning that. But say in terms of video, if we come and play a video like this, see for instance, now we've got bad Wi-Fi over here, but we let the video load in the meantime. So when you play videos, the iPhone screen is one of the best because the Retina display, despite the 1334 750 resolution, it delivers your true to source colors, and there's no color shift at all. There's an ample amount of saturation and contrast on the display, so you will be watching exactly what the video source is. Now if you're one who likes a more warmer display, displays like the Samsung's panel or the LG G4 have warmer displays, or even the Sony Xperia Z5 for that matter has a panel which you can adjust in terms of color, temperature and everything. Now let's play this video. I'll just turn down the volume just so that you can see the clarity. This was recorded by an older iPhone, so excuse the quality, but as you can see, there's no interpolation. It's smooth. You can turn the edges. Yep, I can still see it exactly the way it is. And even if you flatten it down, you might get a few reflections, but quality is as good as it is. There you go. And I believe that's how Shatabdi Express looks. Yep, it does look like that. Oh, where is it? There you go. Yep, it's smooth. It's as smooth as it gets. iOS 9 has brought a number of functional upgrades. For instance, you go to Photos, you open a photo and you get a photo stream. So this is more like an album which is there, which lets you stream through photos easily. If you don't want to keep scrolling, you have this horizontal scroll now, which is useful. Apart from that, the next upgrade that the iPhone has, apart from 3D touch and the Apple A9 chipset, we'll talk about the performance in a bit, is the camera. It's got a 12 megapixel iSight camera finally, and it's got something called live photos. You can switch it off. I'm not really a fan of live photos. You have HDR, you can switch it on, and you've got flash. You can switch that off too. So here we have with us the iPhone's camera, which we'll show you a few test shots that we've taken, but I'll just show you how fast the iPhone camera is. I'm just shooting into nothing right now. Let's just shoot here. 1, 2, I'm shooting on HDR, so I'll just switch that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. That's how fast the iPhone camera app is. And you can see it takes nothing to process. There's this maybe quarter of a second delay, but looking at how fast the iPhone camera, I'm just going on tapping and it goes on clicking. That's how fast Apple's iSight camera is. And we've taken a lot of photos, and in tandem with the display, the iPhone 6s camera is also one for true to source colors. It's not oversaturated, it doesn't have a higher contrast. It delivers you exactly what you see, which I personally like because you get options to enhance the images or edit them in post-processing, and that is a good option for you. So you have the true to source image with you, which you can tamper with later on. For right now, you have, I'll just show you the number of photos that I clicked. There you go. Oh, that's a lot. I have a lot to delete. Never mind. So that is the new camera. It's better than before, but like Prasid mentioned in the review, there are other cameras like the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 in particular, which is equally good, and it's got that slight tinge of saturation which I really liked. And in low light also, the noise cancellation of this Galaxy S5 is really good. And the iPhone somewhat softens the photos a little more than the Galaxy Note 5 in low light. So that is one thing where the Galaxy Note 5 kind of triumphs over the iPhone as of now. But one thing is for certain, that Apple has come up to the top with the iPhone camera, but there are already others sitting at the top, so you cannot call the iSight camera an out and out best in the market right now. It is one of the best, but it's not the best. That's camera for you. Now, one more thing that Apple's done with the front facing camera, I'll show you. Here we go. There you see me over there. Now, here we have something called Retina Flash. Now, I've switched it on. That is what Retina Flash does. When you see the photo, what it's essentially done is put a bright source of light. It just jogs up the screen brightness to a level to which it acts as a flash. So instead of using an optical physical flash on the front, it uses a software flash, which is not bad given in dark conditions. It really helps you to take images, and I have been using it in complete darkness, and it does take brilliant photos. So the Retina Flash is one thing which is a great addition here for selfie lovers, and if you're one stuck in darkness, if you're inside a club which is very dimly lit, the Retina Flash is definitely going to help you. So that's one thing you might want to look out for, and the 5 megapixel upgrade is there, and selfies are definitely better in this one than the older ones. So that's camera for you. Now coming to core performance, there's no glitch whatsoever when it comes to regular performance. You can message as much as you want. I'll just reply to her, say morning. It's kind of afternoon already. Oops, there you go, done replying. So, and you can open Facebook, probably because of my network, but somewhat a little slow too. The app does take a little while to load, and well, I've got a few apps open. Oh yeah, I've got quite a few apps open. So regular performance messaging, browsing, calling, light photography, videos, use quick calculator, and synchronize your mail. I've got my entire work synchronized over here. I use this client for work, and there you go, that's all my mails over there, and that's pretty fast, and regular usage is not compromised at all. You got spotlight search. You just swipe the screen down, and there you have spotlight search. These are my recently opened apps, and this is the search panel from which I can search. For instance, if I want to search for Gmail, there you go, I type G, and I got my calendar also. All my friends' birthdays there. That's next year's birthday. And these are Safari pages that I bookmarked, and these are recent flight searches, reminders. My contacts, whose names begin with G, got pretty funny names of friends. And these are my my personal email inbox and messages, and they have options to search web and the App Store, and also search in Maps. Now this Maps integration is with Apple Maps, which is not really the most effective in India. In fact, very less effective in India. So you'd end up anyway using a separate mail client, Maps client for that. But regular performance is brilliant, and in gaming also, we've tried gaming with it, and the best part about this one is that you can keep gaming, and yes, there is a definite battery drop, but it does not heat up, and there's no glitch in gameplay. You can keep playing for as long as you want. And the iPhone 6s, that is where the iPhone 6s shows its true potential as one of the best flagships of our generation. It is smooth, it doesn't have any glitches, it runs for as long as you want. It's a hardcore performer. So that is about the performance of the iPhone. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM and the Apple A9 processor, and that is a definite upgrade over the previous generation. This is the control center. It's pretty much the same as before. So we've discussed about the camera, the new camera, the 3D touch, the display, the performance. That's pretty much about it. Another thing that iOS has added, Apple, the 6s still has a smaller battery pack, but it does deliver you an entire day on moderate usage. I had previously charged it to 100% last night, and I have last night at around 11 o'clock maybe, and at 10 o'clock, yeah, and I still have 54% of battery left, and I've put it on battery saver mode. I've kept it on low power mode, and even with that, I've been using my phone perfectly well, and this will last me to the end of the day. in which I would need to go back and charge again. So you get an entire day's battery cycle with the iPhone 6s. It's not updated, it's not improved, but yeah, it's good and it's smooth. The battery woes of the iPhone does remain, and it has not been resolved with this one, but it's definitely an improvement over the older ones because you do not need to run for your charger at the middle of the day, and that's good. So the iPhone 6s is good. There's no questioning that the iPhones are good and expensive, but this is more of an incremental upgrade over the iPhone 6. And while it does add a number of elements like 3D touch, which is still finding more practical usage, like except for calling and a couple of things maybe here or there, like say for instance, it's like if I use 3D touch with my camera, generally I would open my camera, switch to front camera, and then press this button to take a selfie. But with force touch, that's one touch there, take selfie, that's two touch there, and you take a selfie, that's three tabs either way. So 3D touch is not essentially the shortcut to time saving right now, but yes, in future with more apps broadening their horizon and accepting 3D touch inputs, it will definitely come along, and there's no denying that 3D touch is one for the future. And right now we're waiting to that time when all the applications start using 3D touch. Until then, it's good, but it's going to improve more. So overall, the iPhone 6s is an incremental upgrade, and if you are one who really goes for latest generation iPhones, this one's definitely for you. If you're using the iPhone 6, we'd suggest stick to it, but because the iPhone 6 is still very good. If you're using the 5s, the iPhone 6s does make some sense because of the new features and the faster processor overall that would lead to better utilization of your tasks and time. So if you're having the iPhone 6, you can also iPhone 5s, you can also consider upgrading to the 6 because the 6 itself is a jump in performance. The iPhone 6s is definitely an option, and if you're one using the iPhone 4s, this one is definitely an upgrade for you. Apart from that, if you're an Android or any other platform phone user, you can totally trust the iPhone to live up to its expectations because this one is a fast, powerful, competent, well-designed device, and there's no denying that it's a good phone, although it's still pink, but you can go for a different color anyway. So that's that for the iPhone 6s from our side. Thank you.